new way of working, new jobs, and new way of lives. We can't even think about from our past experience how the life going to be becoming with AGI and ASI in near future. Thanks for the introduction, Harry. Every century, the humanity faces challenges, and the way we live, the way we work, changing. From 18th century, great industrial revolution to modern day technological revolution to future AI revolution. The way we live, the way we work, and our expectation as a humanity and a society is changed. So, even like nowadays, you can hear on news, USA try to ban their technology copied by especially China. So that's why NVIDIA as a company, they can't export latest version of chips to China. So they have to export 2 versions backward. Same thing happened in the 18th century in the Great Industrial Revolution. England, Scotland, and Wales, say as a United Kingdom, they banned some of their equipment, special machineries, to export to United States. But they were good enough, they were smart enough to copy the technology. So when it comes to technology, so I believe it is very hard to have restrictions, because some way or other, every companies, every countries, every individuals try to copy what is being successful. And Britain was a global powerhouse. So when late 19th century, after USA adopt or learn from Britain, so they becoming the global leader, which is New World Order being written. After the post-World War II in 1945, so there is a new challenge and new competition to USA global superpower, so which is USSR, the Soviet Union. So they were competing as 2 countries to be number 1 in the economy, number 1 in the trade. When you're talking about like countries who control the world, who has a greater impact in the world, the technology has a key role, and everything is reliant on technology. Even nowadays, we're talking about a trade war. What is a trade war? Trade war is like how successful you are doing the businesses as a country. What sort of businesses you can do? How can you be a point of difference? How can you have more crops in your agriculture? How can you be better in your service industry? Everything is rely on technology. When you're talking about agriculture, in farming, there's a far less people working in agriculture compared to 50 years ago. But we feed in the world more than 9 billion people with less number of farmers. How was it possible? It been possible with the technology. Very advanced technologies. There is farms, in example, in Australia. The farms are about 100 acres. Only 2 people work, father and son. That's all. So the lentils we eat here, they grow there. Sugarcane. Australia is the largest sugar exporter. You can see sugar farm all the way to horizon. And the machineries using advanced technologies are using, and the monitoring systems are very tech driven. And there have been the crop being monitored by drones, fertilizers is trialing and is using with the drones. Even we are working in a project into banana farming. So that's the body called Hot Innovation. So they are the responsible body in Australia to introduce new technologies into farming. So with the camera, there's bugs in banana farming, even avocado farming. Rather human going to the farm, the camera will detect the bugs and predict where the treatment has to be required. So when technologies are using in farming, not only farming, so even every other industry, even in the service industry, how you can perform like key performance indicators, rather like you do it manually. So technology is using, algorithms are using to monitor performances. Once USSR collapsed in 1990s, there's only one global superpower. Up to today, USA is maintaining that superpower. The technologies we are using today are most of the companies headquarters in United States. In technology, mainly in California. Even some Australian startups, they are not a startup anymore, they are large corporate like Atlassian or Canva. They are Australian founded company, but they establish their footprints in USA. What are the reasons? Because they have the greater technologies. And even the individuals, they come in from the educational system and they are in that culture and they got the human manpower, labor force or professional staff and great research labs. So that's why those companies in current day is based in USA. But don't forget, their position is in a challenge. The greatest challenge is from China and this Asia region. Not only China, India, even the other countries, Europe being their cousin and wasn't really challenging, they work with them. But there could be a new world order going to be written with the new player in the market. Every revolution is reshape the global power. As I said, Industrial Revolution created one global superpower, then it's been transferred to another one. Now it is in a challenging situation. We're not sure what's going to be happen. After the Industrial Revolution, I'm just like fast forwarding the presentation to a modern day. So the technology era, which is started in 1990s. Using the hardware technology, PC boom, internet and communication in 1990s. So which is belong to a hardware generation, the engineers and the students who they learn about the hardware. I remember like my first computer was, previous days used to call Pentium. If you, maybe like some of you guys can remember, so you had like computers, grade Pentium 1, 2, 3, and you had a floppy disk, and the internet was a luxury, and you using the ADSL cable, which is your telephone line. You had to wait for sometime hours to get downloaded. If you transfer files, sometimes it says it's going to take 39 hours, 40 hours. So those days, the competition was with Apple and Microsoft. So they were competing each other to have that personal computer market. And Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they had a dream to have everyone has their own personal computer. But those days, like you have a personal computer in your home, not everyone. Especially like a developing nation, the computer was precious. So You have a computer lab in your school. If you're at Colombo, maybe in some, what do you call that, I don't say better school, I should say popular school in outside, they had the computer labs. And you had an internet cafe. That's how we use internet and computer in 90s. And when it comes to the 2000, so in 2000 there was .com bubble. So everything is becoming more online, www. And the stock market is rising, like there was a stock market bubble. Like within a year, some companies' shares being rising by 300, 400, 500, 600%. And that called like a bullish market. After stock market crash in 2000, which called .com bubble, there was like things being started to settle down a bit. I remember in 2000, there was a big layovers in the jobs in corporate world, especially in technology company, because that boom being down and there wasn't like many positions available to fill. Once Steve Jobs, Apple led by Steve Jobs, when they introduced iPhone in 2007, new way of thinking started. I have seen again like there's tech jobs being booming, and iPhone, not only iPhone, iOS systems, and also Android being there, and in 2007 onward, there is a new businesses being created. A lot of people started to develop the apps for various reasons, especially the games, real estates, breeding, social media apps, and e-commerce apps, m-commerce apps. Someone who developed the apps just sold in App Store for $1.99 or 99 cents, becoming millionaires, because your market been open to people all around the globe. Previously, you haven't had that luxury. If you open up a shop, your customer has to visit your shop, and you can't open up your market for outside of that demographic area. With internet, especially with apps, the businesses or their products on their customers or users' palm. They could buy anything, anytime. They could use the product anytime. So that's why, in 2007 upward, I should say until 2015, there was a big boom who wants to develop a mobile app and who had a dream to be a millionaire. In 2010 onward, there was a cloud and SaaS-based softwares. Even the softwares like Salesforce or SAP or accounting software like Xero or Mayo, founded much more earlier, they've been really advanced and aggressive after 2010. Data storage becoming a cloud storage. And you used to use your softwares on your CD or DVD. So Microsoft operating system you used to have on DVD, or your Office you had on DVD. Things change. Subscription-based model is a new way of thinking. One of a good move Microsoft did, previously when you bought Office, so you bought forever. They introduced a subscription model. So you buy, you pay monthly fee. So everyone can afford, and good for Microsoft because they had the customer forever. And they keep updating, and their income was secure. And as a user, you don't have to pay hundreds of rupees or dollars, not 100 rupees, should be thousands of rupees. And you can pay a little amount and use the softwares. Not only Office, even the other softwares like Adobe and any designing softwares, Photoshops. So this subscription-based model and SaaS software be the key. And a lot of billion-dollar businesses, companies being created, a lot of jobs being created. That's why it is a hype in softwares, in tech, to hire in job market from 2010 to until pandemic, even after the pandemic. So we were struggling to find the resources, we were struggling to find the talents here in Sri Lanka. I remember we used more contractors than our own team to develop projects because we couldn't fill the skill set. There was a huge skill demand, and that wasn't enough to fill whoever coming out of the university. There was a trend just before the pandemic. The student out of school, they had a dream to become a software engineer. So follow the passion, and every parents want their kids to study software engineering because they knew the potential, they knew the how much they can earn on their job and what the demand is, the opportunities is everywhere. So when comes to that level, pandemic hit. Things started to become even hotter and hotter. The remote work from home facilities was there before the pandemic, but things been accelerated in pandemic. Talking about Elegant Media, so myself and my school friend Shay, we found the company in Melbourne in 2010, just after finish university studies. We wasn't serious, and in one evening, Shay came to my place and he was asking, have you had dinner? I said, no. He said, can I bring some pizza? I said, all right. So he came to my place with the pizza. We talk about to start something going with the technology. So we wasn't sure how to get the businesses. We thought the tradies, plumbers and electricians, some of them not available online to develop websites for them. All right, I listed the name. There was some other names being proposed, and we found Elegant Media sounds good. Still nowadays, people confuse when you say Elegant Media, you're a media company. But we haven't changed the name. We haven't even thought about that. And put the name, had the website, and first campaign is to find the customer. We had a mail out campaign to find the local businesses, plumbers and electricians. We send out the letters and to win the businesses. That cost us $1,600, and we found only one customer. We developed the website for $450. The campaign is at a loss. So couldn't give up that, and we wasn't really disappointed. We were still happy and fun. So we started to do the more online marketing, and when things moved into mobile apps in 2011, we started to advertise to develop mobile apps. The first customer, she was scared to put trust on us, so she wasn't ready to take a risk. She said, you can develop the project and we will pay after that. So we said, all right, that's fine. So we did the project, then we got paid. So the rest is history. So in last 15 years, we have developed a lot of projects. Not only for the simple apps for the entrepreneurs or consumers who want to have a social media apps to beat Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook, or people who want to have a competition to Uber, or people who wanted to have a competition to dating apps. We have developed projects for governments, taxation office, defense, Australian Army, Air Force, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Cummins, the large charity organization, Beyond Blue, and the organization like Hot Innovations. We have done the project for them. So we use advanced technologies as a custom software builder, augmented reality, virtual reality, machine learning, even AI. I remember we have done a project for Bandix, a large brake pad manufacturer. So that's a machine learning model being involved in the project. So that's we have done in 2016-17 period. So before even this new AI revolution will happen. So I'm really proud about our achievements and also innovation being implemented into the project by our dev team. And the contribution your contribution is highly appreciated, and you are not only a software engineer, or you are not only a designer, or you are not only an administrator. You are helping to people have better life. You are helping defense to save millions of civilians' lives. You are helping doctors or healthcare professionals to save their patients. You are helping people with psychological disorders or mental issues to becoming better and becoming normal again. So you should be happy and you should be proud about your contribution to the company, contribution to the community, contribution to the world. Someone can say when defense is a kind of very subjective matter, why we are working with defense. There's a two clear difference when you're talking about military, defensive and offensive. In time of World War II, US Defense Department used to call Department of War, and now they call it Department of Defense. Why they don't call Department of Offense? Because sometimes they are very offensive. And defense is you protect yourself, you protect your country. Every human, every country has their own right to protect themselves. I believe that. But they don't have a right to offense others. If you being offensive, if someone being offensive, their enemies can be offensive. So then it's your right to be defensive and protect yourself. So things happen in all over the globe. So defense has a key role in every country because the enemy is everywhere. So someone want to take over your country, someone want to kill your community. If you're not capable enough, if you don't have advanced technologies, you are at a disaster. Imagine the current war between Ukraine and Russia. I believe Russia is more offensive, they're invasive, they want to take control of Ukraine. If Ukraine didn't have, or if the Western allies didn't support Ukraine, the Russia too can take over Ukraine. Still a lot of people died there. So I believe the war has to be ended, but you should be defensive for your country. So that's about the defense and also the education. So we have done a lot of projects for education. Education is a key. Without having a proper education, you can't move forward. The societies can't move forward. If you're born poor, if you don't have education, you will die at poor. So education helps people to hide their lifestyle. People come out of poverty. So we have done a lot of projects for the education sector. So, Elegant Media as a #1 app developer in Australia. So we have our greatest strength is our team. We have a best team, and our internship program is second to none. In last 15 years, we have helped hundreds of fresh graduates to becoming pros in their industry through the internship program. Starting as an intern, you come going through a structured program, and at the end of the program, you're going to have your buddy who is going to monitor your performances and who is helping you. And when you complete your first year of internship, you are ready to work on the projects. So that start is very key. Everyone remember your first teacher. I think you remember your first buddy throughout your career, who can be becoming your mentor throughout your career. So without you, we couldn't achieve anything what we have done. It's a one company, it's a global company. It's not an Australian company anymore. We operate our businesses in New Zealand in last 5 years. We are the #1 app developer in Australia as well as in New Zealand. In USA, we tried 2 times before. We failed, but never give up. We are trying again today. So, as a global company, we wanted to be a global leader in technology. Not only mobile apps. Mobile apps is only a channel. So we are a tech company. We are a software company. I would like to talk about a bit more about pandemic. When pandemic hit in 2020, as I said, the work from home becoming new normal. You could work from home, and the workplace being changed, and some of the softwares we never heard about that becoming very essential, like Zoom. So the community's focus, country's focus, more into this global pandemic. A lot of people died and being locked down. Melbourne was the most locked down city in the world, so we were locked down in more than 100 days. We were forced to work from home, and we were lucky enough, we were with defense, we could work from office. I remember we asked everyone to work from home, and even I worked from home. And so that week was start Monday, so by Thursday, talking to others says, no, really bored, can't work from home. It's not a thing for me, I can't work from home. And most of our team, they are in Melbourne office, they couldn't work from home. We had like a very fun and very result-driven performance environment in the office. So everyone happy to come to office. Every Friday we get together after work, and that's all. So we work from home only 1 week. In Sri Lanka, so we work from home more than a week. So I think it is about 4 years. And then after that we had a hybrid model. One team come to the office every month. So then rest of the time you can work from home. The important about come to office is you can be like a better in your personal health as well as better for the projects, because the collaboration can be very high when you work in person. Nothing going to replace working your colleague next to you, because especially like when you're working online, so in a meeting, like in a given time only one person can talk. Very hard to see your personal impression. Someone even can sleep while you are looking at the screen. So in person, the experience is much better. When China is looking at, so the USA identify their strength is moving with the tech, so they always know that. They know like they had this technology, and China started to copy that. With the DeepSeek introduction in about a year and a half ago, the stock market is shaked. The value of the US tech companies gone down massively. That is before these tariff things came up. And someone even blamed at NVIDIA, they sold their chips. But in China, they had tech companies, they had Xiaomi, they have Huawei, they're also doing researches, they're developing chips, they're developing technology. So, things has been changed. Again, USA, they take one step backward, and the government allow NVIDIA to sell their chips back to China, but they need to pay 10% or 15% back to the USA government because they are selling their technologies. Because I think NVIDIA were smart enough to get President Trump understand if you hide technology, China will build their own technology. So anyway, they becoming a competitor. If you sell the technology what US companies has, China will be trapped into that. They don't think about like building their own technology. The age of AI and future of work. AI is now central to global competition. So, in your work, in your life, you should use the tools for what is available. If you don't use the tools available now, do not even draw, you can't survive. So nowadays it is just AI. People say in 20, 30 years time, it's going to be even better with artificial generative intelligence or ASI, artificial super intelligence. With that, all of us are going to lose our jobs. But some people even predict that could be even closer in 5 years' time in 2030. So you could be optimistic about it. But nothing to be worried about. The jobs going to be loose. Same time, the new jobs going to be created. And the new task going to be created for new projects we never heard about. You have to be upskilled and you have to be adaptive with the new technology, new tools. If you're passionate about what you're doing, you can be adaptive and you can be changed the way it's required. In 1980s, the knowledge was the power. At school, like who knows things is the most smartest kid. In your exams, you write the exam based on your knowledge. At workplace, person who knows things be the best person in the room. But when we come to a workforce, after 2000, there wasn't any power for the knowledge because search engine was available. If you don't know anything, you can search and more trusted information. So then skill becoming a power. Who knows how to do things? So they are the one who can demand more salary and who can demand the recognition. The companies who can charge more. who has the skills. With the education, the online videos, even the skill is not a power anymore. Now it's experience. If you don't know something, if you don't know how to build a brick wall, you could search online and you can find and you can learn. There's a lot of free materials for you to learn if you need to know something, how to do it. And there's a lot of influencers who show how to do things. You don't have to really worry about the skills. So it's all about have you done that before? What mistake you have made? Have you learned from your mistakes? And can you not to repeat the same mistakes? So that is experience. So now we are living in an era where experiences matters more than anything. As I said, moving forward, it's going to be passion. With the artificial general intelligence, or AGI or ASI, it's going to be a passion. You will have your robots who are doing the cleaning for you, who are doing the driving for you, and who are doing the farming for you. I had a chat with a landscape gardener about 2 weeks ago. He said, I can't wait till these robots to come because I'm sick and tired of doing this work, and I'm sick and tired of managing my team because there's a lot of issues with humans, labor, because they could be tired, they could be emotional, and when you have your robot friend, robot colleague, they don't get tired, they don't have emotions. I don't say emotion is a bad thing, emotion is a good thing, but if you had a bad day, if you're having a fight with your wife or girlfriend, you might have a little bit of bad day at work. But with robots, you don't have that. So, in robotaxi in USA, Tesla has a robotaxi, Waymo has their taxi service. Driverless cars, you come to work in your car and you just go to your office, your car will go and park somewhere. Whenever you need, you can order the car again. Maybe you don't need to order, you don't need to own a car. You can use a driverless car when it is available. Rather like having a number of taxi companies in future, maybe companies who own the robo cars. So, the principle is the adopt or left behind. Things going to be much more interesting, much more challenging if you don't like for the changes. With the ASI, the new world order going to be written, and the new companies, new way of working, new jobs, and new way of lives. We can't even think about from our past experience how the life going to be becoming with AGI and ASI in near future. So we might have even flying cars where the bigger drones or smaller aircraft kind of things in using by itself. So I should ask you to be more curious and ask questions and stay visible. Especially if you try to be hide and you're not going to learn anything and you're not going to move forward. So be open and take the new technologies, new tools with both of your hands. Don't ignore that because we have to move forward. The humankind it is a nature they don't like to change. But once you change, you like to stay there. So the early changers are the winners. That's why with new world order, the companies or the countries who's going to be adaptive, who's going to use new technology is going to win the world. And you are not only survive, so you have to be adaptive and innovation to be survive. And it's a lifelong learning lesson, and future belongs to who has a courage, who has a passion to go with technology to be better.